Hey guys, how we doing today?
Morning, everybody.
Joe here.
Kevin.
Okay, so I'm really gonna try to savor this last season. This is obviously the last Sorkin, last
Right.
Rob Lowe season, and a lot of you guys, we had this conversation on Patreon last night. The quality doesn't necessarily dip, but it's still a little different going forward. But still, you get used to something for so long, you don't want it to end.
Sure.
You know?
I mean, there's definitely, obviously, without seeing anything, going to be a dynamic shift by losing Sam Seaborn, right?
Yeah.
It doesn't matter who you replace him with. If you get a new deputy comms director,
Yeah.
but losing Sam takes a pillar off of the show
Sure.
as a character. So it is going to be hard to replace.
It's such an established cast and with so
Right.
many episodes under their belt.
hmm
If you just straight away replaced him, it would feel like Sam Light or something.
for sure.
But I have complete faith in the show, and I don't think it slowed down its Emmy run after
Right.
season 4. So
Yeah, I feel like it's still going to
I've
be
got
good,
faith.
right?
I'm a little nervous going into it, but I still have faith. I want to watch the show. I want to watch it in its entirety, and I've enjoyed everything up to this point so far.
Sure.
So much so that I've been, going out of my way to find all the Sorkin content I can find. I have not started the newsroom yet because we're going to save that for later on.
Right.
But even to the fact where I forgot he wrote Charlie Wilson's War.
Yep.
I have that on my watch list on HBO Max because I want to see all the Sorkin content. It's just so good.
I like Charlie. I mean, what a great cast!
I love Philip Seymour Hoffman. So that's why I wanted to watch it again. But no, so far in season 4, it's been pretty tense going forward since the first episode. I mean, we're really gearing up for this debate.
Yeah, I'm glad we're starting to focus more and more on the election coming forth. Richie's kind of been hanging in the background. Obviously, we've only seen him the one time for a very short amount of time.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of glad it's not overly about him to this point. Obviously, when we get to debates, that's going to change.
Yeah.
But there's so much hanging over the election, which I think is really interesting because that's how the world works, right? What's the issue that's going to get thrown around?
Also,
We know in the show
I
what
don't
the issues
feel
are.
intimidated by Richie. I don't feel like there's. Well, I don't want to say stakes because there's obviously stakes. There's stakes in every episode, but like I don't feel like he's the shark from Jaws. Like he is hanging in the background, obviously, but I don't feel like there's a real threat to Bartlett. I think his biggest threat is himself. The MS situation.
Yeah, I mean that's what he's going to use, right? The guy's unhealthy. He's a liar. He's if the stuff about the assassination of a foreign power, an important person in Kumar, Sharif. There's a lot of stuff that's going to be hanging over him.
Maybe it's also because we're watching this, 20 years later, that we know there's 3 more seasons after this. So we're like, okay.
Well, we know he's going to win. But I think the stakes are in the election.
The stakes are high.
We've had elections where things didn't go the way everyone thought that they were going to go.
Of course, yeah, we both did that one.
Right. So, I mean, we'll see moving forward how they kind of execute it. I kind of like, for dramatic effect, right, for television purposes, how this is just going to be one debate. So it puts all of the eggs in that one basket rather than us dealing with several different debates.
That one did get me. I'm like, all right, one debate.
That's cool. Yeah, I think that's cool. So we'll kind of see moving forward. But again, I'm really, really happy that the focus is largely now out of necessity, like real world necessity, on the actual presidential election coming up. Because I mean, let's face it, in the world we live in, campaigning is done.
Yeah, it's
you win the election and you're all of a sudden you're campaigning.
It kind of feels like it started in the last year. You know what I mean?
No, yeah, no, it started as soon as it was over. How many different people said, or how many very popular social media posts you see that said, this last guy is going to be reinstated as president on this date, and it's like, what are you guys talking about? We had an election. Yeah, but it wasn't real. So on April 4th, that's when the Supreme Court's in the military are going to it's like, we just can't let it be.
To kind of digress a little bit, have you ever seen Tanner 88?
No.
It was a Robert Altman miniseries that actually Sorkin took a lot. He cribbed a lot from that to make The West Wing. But it's like a big mockumentary series that Altman did about a political guy who was campaigning in the 80s. And I feel like it's not necessarily a comedy, but it's got some humor to it. I feel like they should do something like that today.
Sure.
Because I think the biggest satire for politics today is probably Veep. And even that's like 10 years old.
Yeah.
I haven't even seen Veep, but I mean, I've heard a lot of folks talk about it. I feel like we need something like that now. Whether Aaron Sorkin wants to, break out the typewriter.
I don't know.
Make something for today.
It's so hard because our politics, this is just my opinion, our politics in America are so crazy now that it's all, well, I don't even think it's that. I think it's so hard to satirize how ridiculous our politics are.
You satirize this,
How do you satirize a world that is just like
idiocracy?
We live in a world that is just pure self-mockery and insanity, right?
Yeah.
How do you satirize something as nutty as Nazis waving flags? And
somebody way smarter than us is going to figure it
out. Right. So there's going to be right. Oh, down the road, we'll be able to look back on this and be like, what was happening?
Mm-hmm.
But man, it's hard to do in the moment. I remember seeing Patton Oswalt doing a stand-up special like 2 years ago, I think, and he's like, I'm not doing any political jokes because by the time it was longer though than that, I guess, but he's like, by the time I make the joke is 10 minutes old and there's 40 other things that have happened and I'm completely dated. So there's no point in making political jokes.
It's true. You go back and look at the archives, it's like, wow.
It's just like you can't keep up.
Yeah.
You make fun of we're going to nuke hurricanes, and by the time you make fun of a nuke hurricane, we're on to let's inject bleach, and it's like exactly. It's like you can't do it in real time. We're just we're a human Gish Gallop, and that we just so much shotgunning of what's ridiculous. It's like, when do you stop and get a chance to make fun of something?
I think that's how you satirize it. You actually inject bleach. You actually
seriously. Yeah. All right, we do want to go ahead and welcome Simon Baristow, I think. Sorry, my handwriting was not great this morning. Sarah Stahl, Rufus May, K-Bayan Vagabond, Dan Dolan, and Cycles of Change. Thanks so much, guys. We're very happy you're here with us, and welcome to our Patreon group.
Yes. Welcome, guys. If you're watching us on YouTube for the first time, welcome to our channel. If you'd mind the like button for us, please leave us a comment down below and hit that subscribe button so you can stay up to date on all the new content we've coming your way.
Yeah, if you'd like to see a full-length reaction to this and everything else we've watched or are watching, please check out a link in the description below to our Patreon page. We're at least 4 episodes ahead of everything we're watching, including The West Wing. So if you get done watching this on YouTube and want to keep going, you can hop over there and continue. You will have to sync and watch along on your own device and streaming service. You will only see and hear us for copyright purposes. We're also watching 30 Rock right now as a Patreon exclusive.
Can you tell us why you nominated him?
Why?
Yes.
Because bite me, that's why.
It's a legitimate question.
It's been almost 4 years, Sam. What?
A lot of people in law enforcement believe profiling helps them do their job better. Not everyone's against it.
I'm against it.
Hey, Joey's back.
Yeah.
If we can figure out a way to make this answer about the drug war, then we can talk about successes.
Mr. Rooker is a devoted crime fighter. We had our differences.
Were you doing me just then?
I was offering an answer.
You were doing me.
I slipped into it, yes. Yeah.
There's a lot of people there on debate prep.
Tons, yeah. That was a good impersonation, by the way.
I thought he was slipping into a little New England there. Like, it's
all of me.
Apparently, 8 Israeli Thunder fighters have hit 2 terrorist bases in the north and south of Kumar.
Yeah, because they couldn't get the ceasefire.
Yeah.
And I also think it would be really hard to do debate prep where you're doing the opposition. It's like, you gotta kind of walk on eggshells a little bit because I'm basically challenging the president and I work for him.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm going to say things you're not going to like right now, sir.
Yeah. So when do you think the debate's going to be then? Another episode? 2 episodes?
Yeah, another episode. I don't think it won't be this one. But it's coming up for sure.
Yeah.
Because I don't really feel like the season's going to be about the election. I think it's going to be over pretty soon.
Sure. I mean, with 20-some episodes.
Yeah.
AC Stryker Recon says 30,000 troops are massing at the Syrian border.
That was fast.
We're not there yet.
If Israel feels threatened by them, what happens?
They launch a preemptive strike. They'll want something from us in exchange for standing down. We should think of something we can give them.
Honey, if we're going to have this fight, can we not do it in front of the Joint Chiefs?
Yeah, this is not going to go well.
Yeah, we definitely have conflict between
Leo and
Bartlett brewing here, yeah.
Well, Leo's got... He's feeling some kind of way about it, obviously. Sure. He's mad about the death of the last guy the guy in the last episode. Right. I forget his name.
The Israeli.
Yeah.
Foreign minister.
Under no circumstances to marry you again.
May I ask why?
I have the unique experience of having done it once before.
Well, there's some things between those two that have happened off camera.
Oh, yeah.
I think you're getting back together.
We're not.
But you want to.
Yeah, I don't think they are.
I think. Wait, what? We weren't even in the White House when we heard Rooker. It was like January 5th.
Last bag.
I was hoping they were going to explain this guy, yeah.
But he's a Democrat with a record the right wing can't complain about.
Guys, our opponent had a record conservatives can't complain about, but he lost.
Right. Yeah. I see where Sam's coming from here for sure.
I'm not sure he's the right guy.
So Sam is the one that's right here, apparently. Yeah.
Donna?
Yeah.
Jeff Johnson. Come on back.
Yeah, this is a spirit of cooperation you probably don't see much anymore.
No.
Because there are days you're going to need to be here at 8, maybe even earlier, and not go home till 6 or 7.
They're way longer than that.
Yeah.
That's funny.
She has no idea.
Yeah.
There's an XW-9 warhead in a silo, 93 feet below the Eisenhower putting green.
No, there is not.
Is he messing with her?
He has to be messing with her.
My girlfriend's a stringer for a teen magazine. It's called 21.
Sure.
With all the young people coming in, they want to do a story. And any chance she could get a 10-minute phoner?
No problem. You can give her the number.
Oh my God, she is being set up here
Big time.
hard.
It's January 15th, Andy. I can't have a baby today.
That's what.
Okay. This is a lot like what happened with Leo.
Mm-hmm.
No. I'm taking Ohio out of the red and putting it back in play.
He's a Democrat elected to the state house with close to 60%, and the fact that the state's in play is a real embarrassment for him.
If you asked the president which he'd rather win, New Hampshire or the election, he'd have to think before he answered.
So Richie's gonna win New Hampshire.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it is.
The government can't raise kids, Mr. President. Parents have to.
I have 3 grown daughters, Governor. Stop wasting time by sentimentalizing families.
That's
Yeah.
not good, sir. We just lost the vote of every stay-at-home mom.
See why it takes a room full of people to do this. Every answer has to be analyzed.
Oh, completely, yeah. Because afterwards, people are going to do whatever they want with it.
Okay.
I've got boxes to unload.
I'm going to stay here and practice.
That would be stressful. Like,
yeah, oh yeah.
It's like
I'm addressing the nation,
right? Everyone in the world's going to watch this. It's like prepping for Broadway, you know.
Way higher stakes.
Yeah. You're all alone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bill Stark. I'm with Kingspeak. We're a magazine that reaches over 600,000 Christian evangelicals. On December 10th, all 600,000 will be praying for you. We identify the 365 most influential people in media. Just so you don't think we disagree on everything, I think Cornell Rooker is terrific.
Really?
First African-American man I've ever heard make sense on racial profiling.
Oh, no. No.
Yikes.
Oh, yikes.
Well, you blew that one, buddy.
And now it's time to revisit this Rooker guy,
Yeah.
right?
Oh, Miss Lattingham!
Adoration of the Magi.
What are we doing right now?
I want to run through these executive orders.
Do you understand them?
Not quite yet.
I love this. The naivete of being new.
Yeah.
I love it.
The reporter said that he liked Rooker's position on racial profiling.
That's strange.
Racial profiling can be helpful to
Law enforcement?
Yeah.
I think nowadays that kind of thing would get vetted. Like, it's hard to slip stuff by like that.
Yeah.
The amount of research they do.
Information era.
Do you mind if I talk to you while we walk?
Well, we may as well get used to having meetings in the quarters.
That's funny. It's like walking.
Yeah.
Hi, I'm Josh Lyman. You all work for me. Does anybody know where WW160 is?
I haven't seen it.
We were looking for West Wing 160.
Yeah, I think it's in the Kremlin. Let's just meet here.
That's so funny. That's how they pick the meeting room.
Yeah.
Let me take a pass at some remarks the president can make withdrawing the nomination.
Guess what I have here? It's a copy of 21 magazine. It's for Generation Now.
Is my thing in there?
There's so much to learn, says Moss. I didn't even know there was a nuclear missile silo under this
Oh,
place.
God.
There's not.
There is.
Who told you that? Did it really sound right to you when he said it? What'd you think? We'd go to war and Hercules rockets come flying out of the Rose Garden?
Have you asked her?
Yes.
And she said no.
This is excruciating.
Nothing. It's my immune system. It's not recognizing that a pregnancy isn't something it's supposed to attack.
Oh, that's terrible.
Yeah.
Should we talk about a stop date?
That's not what you should be saying right now.
You meant a stop date, stop date.
I meant adopting. I meant surrogacy.
I wonder what happens.
He doesn't want to have kids.
Yeah.
You're getting killed on Rooker.
No kidding.
This is the thing I'm not familiar with. Ivy League people getting together and singing their alma maters for entertainment.
I'd feel so out of place.
I see it in movies all the time, and I'm just like, that's
not me.
I don't know my school's alma mater.
The president's got to spend a little more time in congressional districts. We're not going to win.
Why would he spend any time in districts?
To build democratic momentum.
There's a family crisis in America.
So a radical feminist is saying women should stay home with the kids? We need to defend our accomplishments on work and family.
Many of which you pushed for. But a few days ago, a teen magazine published a short interview with her. Well, the problem is, joke or not, she hit a little close to home for our comfort. What do you mean?
Unless she's pranking him back.
Donna's getting him back, yeah.
It could get tricky, and I'd like to have her talk to somebody. A lawyer.
Okay, so Josh is gullible too.
That idiot interview you did popped a red flag at NSA. They're revoking your credentials till it's straightened out. Don't worry about this. I'm gonna fix this.
No, is she being pranked? Is he being pranked, or
there is no nuclear missile in Washington
that's what I'm saying? But like,
she's
so serious.
She's getting him back. Yeah.
Mystico, a 200-foot Kamari cargo ship is heading east in the Mediterranean toward Lebanon.
They turn around the ship in exchange for what?
Access to the high-altitude area defense program.
I've got to turn around the boat tonight. Tomorrow we'll worry about tomorrow.
Well, we can invite the Sultan over for a mixer. We'll worry about tomorrow. We said that yesterday.
So you gonna win him over?
Fitz?
I couldn't agree with Leo more.
Stop the boat. Don't shoot it unless I tell you to.
Yes, sir.
Right.
Yeah. I think this is going to come to a head at some point, though.
The president has withdrawn Rooker's name from nomination.
Well, at least it's behind us.
Can anyone report anything good?
600,000 evangelicals are praying for me. This is the editorial board of the New York Times. This isn't a good list. This is a list of people who are going to hell.
I mean, Sam was right all along about that.
Yeah.
Oh, you were right. I was wrong.
Well, more often than not, it's going to be the other way around, so.
An NSA guy came to see me just now, and he said she struck a little close to home. There's actually some kind of weapon system right here in the White House, or intelligence gathering.
Come on, man. He's finally getting it, yeah. There is no way that was true.
Just hanging with my friend Michael. He works in the staff secretary's office. Plus, he's got his own band.
That was a good one.
Yeah, it was. I like the fact that she just let him run with it until he figured it out.
I want women to have help from the government. I want women to earn what men earn. I want everyone to earn enough so that everyone can make the right choice for their family.
I like that, yeah.
That sounds fair to me.
Let's get that in the form of an answer.
It sounds like the reasonable answer.
It's completely reasonable, yeah.
Why don't you just do your job as a man and get that nice girl pregnant?
I did.
Wait, what?
What?
So they have been together.
Or
Andy's pregnant?
With twins.
Yeah.
We're going to have to step this up now.
Yeah. I'm going to get hats.
You know what I remember he said to me? He said, Mr. President, when I hear black footsteps behind me, I'm scared. When I hear white footsteps, I'm not. Pay for these things for such a long time. Too long, don't you think?
I absolutely do.
If I'm making mistakes there, how do I know I'm not doing it when it comes to matters like death?
I see what he's doing, yeah.
Stay up in my face, okay?
Yes, sir.
Okay, well, I expected this to be more of a combative episode, the way things are being set up, and it hasn't been. Yeah.
really fun.
Oh, yeah.
Really light, actually.
The candidate will have 90 seconds to respond, followed with a 60-second questioning by his opponent, followed by a 60-second summation.
Oh, I love this.
Yeah.
I'll challenge you. Watch that ending and tell me you don't get goosebumps. That's such a... Oh, it's so good.
Yeah,
so good.
I really enjoyed that more than I thought I was going to. I thought they were setting up a real fight between
the staff.
Between Bartlet and Leo and Sam independently, right? I thought we were setting up conflict there. That it didn't come to that. It's the acknowledgement that sometimes the president doesn't get every call, right? That's what the staff's there for. Exactly. Leo with the military stuff and Sam with the domestic stuff.
Yes.
They both had a moment where they had to really step up and challenge the president.
Yeah. When you listen to one another, you can be really a well-oiled machine.
Yeah,
honestly.
It's just a nice episode about how the last thing you want is to have the person in power surrounded by yes men and sycophants and everyone that's going to tell you what you want to hear.
No, that was a great example of it at the very end when Sam's like, you're going to lose it. You know? Like, it's straightforward.
You have to tell him the stuff he doesn't want to hear. And I like the fact that Leo really pushed back and got the president to ask the military leaders, it's like, is Leo right or am I? And they're like, Leo's right on this particular issue.
You get why Bartlett said what he said, and I kind of agreed with him too. But at the same time, it's like, no, we gotta stop this.
Right? Yeah, it's a simple question of Bartlett kind of dragging his feet when it comes to military stuff, as is his nature to not want to be overly involved in military conflict, and there's nothing wrong with that. Nope. And Leo, who's a military man, and saying this is a time where we actually have to. We're here. You're gonna have to make the tougher choice here. And Leo didn't back down. And like I said, I thought we were headed for blows between, because we've seen it before, right?
Yeah. Oh,
between,
yeah.
With
it's
Leo
rare,
and
but
Bartlett. We saw it in season 1, right? About the proportional response, of an attack on an American military plane. And I really like the fact that Bartlett's strength is shown not in that he's really decisive, but in that he's open-minded enough to say, okay, well, the people who really know what they're talking about in this area are telling me I'm wrong. I'm actually going to take that under advisement instead of saying, well, I'm the president, I'm the decider, I'm going to do what I want.
Yeah.
It was really well executed.
That's the key word there, open-mindedness.
Yeah. Willingness to actually consider perspectives and weigh options.
That's what all these people are here for.
Right. The president is as a person, right? He or she can't have every answer all the time. It's like I know everything and everything we should do at all times. And anyone who says anyone who says that they are, and we've had presidents who do, is going with a lot of unearned false bravado and confidence.
Yeah.
You don't know everything. You don't have all the answers. That's why the administration is full of other people. Yeah. Otherwise, it's just one guy with a telephone. Instead of having advisors and having the Joint Chiefs of Staff and No, I got everything. Everyone asked me a question. I'm just going to do thumbs up, thumbs down on every decision.
I'm good.
I'm good. I got everything. That's great. The Gary Johnson. Yeah. What do you think of the situation in Aleppo? What's that? Yeah. I mean, good or bad? They need people around them who know their things. But no, this is a great episode. I really like the flashback to how they started.
They handled it really well.
Yeah.
And also, obviously, they had title cards at the very bottom to tell you when it's happening. But I mean, just with CJ's hair going back and forth, it's a great visual.
A show and don't tell.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
show the transitions like that. Instead of saying, boy, I can't believe it's 2004 or 1999 or whatever.
And you're right. It's really cool that we got to see the first walk and talk.
Yeah. And they called it that too. It's like, you want to walk with me and talk?
Yeah.
Okay. And that's how that creates the walk and talk.
Very meta.
That was pretty funny. And also the conference room they always meet in. I don't know that WW 160 is a real room. Let's just meet here. That's it. That's the meeting room for it was a lot of origin story, tongue-in-cheek stuff.
Yeah.
It wasn't distracting. It wasn't like Solo, where it's like, where did we get the dice? And who cares?
Yeah, your name is Solo.
Yeah, exactly. Like, oh, we were never wondering about this. But it was really nice, just subtle setup to where the show goes.
Yeah, and it's you're right. I liked how naive they were at the beginning.
Great.
Because boy, they aged a little bit going forward, didn't they?
Yeah, it just shows the reality of I'm stepping into this job. I've never done it before. Hey, we've got 6 executive orders to sign, and I don't know what they are. And Leo's like, I don't know what they are either, which is very realistic if you've never been in that position. Yeah. Obviously, when we catch the show, they're a year in, right? When the pilot happens.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, well, they're more seasoned. They understand what they're doing. CJ is crushing the press conferences. Well, we see in this one, it's because she worked her tail off to get good at it, right?
Yeah. Nobody's going to be great at something when they first start.
Right. You had a good press conference. You did well. Well, I can do better. So I'm here working.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that mindset.
It's the people that are that are working hard to be good at their jobs. You love the desire for competence.
And also, once we're done with the show, I don't know. I'm gonna rewatch it for sure. But
this is a binger.
It's also interesting to think that there's some shows you can just kind of hop into wherever. Okay. This is a show I'm curious about because obviously it's a continued storyline per season, and it's like I feel like this would be an episode, even though it's a flowing narrative that you could just hop into.
Obviously,
if you just want to watch the hits,
sure,
just throw this one on. I mean, obviously the big Christmas ones are a thing.
I mean, but I feel like it's serialized, sure, but I think this is a show where you could probably watch an episode or two and kind of get caught up to at least who everybody is and what's kind of going on. Yeah, I know there's some storylines to jump in the middle of, but I think the exposition and the conversations around it are written so well.
Oh yeah,
that there's because there's sometimes there's a million different issues going on, right?
Sure,
and we forget them sometimes.
Yeah,
and so we're in the episode and they start talking about it again, like, oh yeah, because we're getting enough of an exposition, like subtle exposition reminders, and with the exposition dumps and afterwards, that I think you could kind of jump in and just watch the show. I would prefer not to, obviously.
Yeah, I'd like to watch it all.
I think it's best to start at the beginning for people watching the show, but I don't think it's necessary. I'm sure when it was on broadcast television, in the early 2000s,
and also they had
people were doing it. Absolutely.
I think you're right about that. I'm just saying for me as a person,
for sure.
You know what I mean?
I mean, like any show that's serialized, you want to start at the beginning.
And it's like some of the big episodes that we love usually come towards the end of the season.
Yeah.
This season so far, the first 5 episodes we've been in are really, really entertaining.
Yeah. They do a great job of setting up what's coming.
Yeah.
The show is really set up this season.
Also, Toby's going to be a dad.
That's awesome. That's really cool.
And it was amazing to see Miss Lanningham again. I mean,
that was a nice touch.
She's a treasure. She's a delight.
She is.
All righty, guys. Well,
thanks for catch you in the next one. Yep.